want to take this one? Do you know how many tattoos you have?
I know how many tattoos I have. I have 17, 18 tattoos. Most of them are pretty tiny. A few that are like mid-size, but most of them are smaller tattoos.
Yeah, I have somewhere in the 20s, somewhere in the 20 tattoos. Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah. My first tattoo, kind of embarrassed to admit this one. My first tattoo was Trill on the inside of my lip. It's still, I think it's still there to this day.
It is.
Yeah, it looks like I got it yesterday. They told me it would be gone in 3 months. This is, I don't even know how many years, 10 years later or something like that. I got it when I was 16 years old, made a fake ID, went to the tattoo shop and got Trill on my lip. Yeah, I like it because it makes me nostalgic. It was from when I was younger and more carefree, but yeah, I'd say I still like it today.
My first tattoo is something on my sternum. Written in Latin, got it in 2014 when I was 19, and I do not like it today. It's actually the only tattoo that I don't like, and it's also the tattoo that I put the most, I don't know, like emotional fake focus into. So now I try not to do that. Now I try to find something that looks cool and then come up with meaning for it later.
Freestyle it.
Yeah. I've definitely had a less than ideal tattoo experience. The first one I got was, I don't want to say where it is, obviously, because it's local, but they were just so, I don't know. It was a feeling of a lot of rudeness and, oh, it's his first tattoo and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it was not super great. So now I kind of try to avoid that whenever I'm going to shops now. That same weird energy while you're getting someone putting something permanent on your skin.
Yeah, especially for your first ones. Why do they hate it so much?
Because it's that feeling of, oh, they're gonna ask me a million questions. Oh, does it hurt? Blah, 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 and probably be twitching about and whatnot. I get it to an extent, but I mean, at least start first before you're gonna give me the attitude.
Right,
See if I'm actually gonna be like that.
It gives me less faith when they have a bad attitude about it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I've definitely had a less than ideal tattoo experience as well. Kind of along with what Jay was saying, they just, they act like all your questions, or they acted like all of my questions were, I don't know, just irrelevant. Yeah, exactly.
So ridiculous. Right.
So yeah, I didn't like that. And then I had one guy who was obviously in a rush for my mother tattoo and just really not into it at all. And was trying to get me out the door, and like obviously I must have been like his last appointment of the day or something like that. But yeah, those were both not ideal experiences.
I've had the same, where it feels like someone is rushing while they're tattooing you.
It's just the worst feeling in the world.
Like,
yeah,
this is not what I wanted.
Yeah, I absolutely would. I feel like even as far as like anime characters go, like we have some overlap between characters we like. And even if it wasn't the same exact character, like from the same show or something, related for sure. And then matching, maybe, I don't know, if I got into like a very serious, like long-term relationship or something, I could see that being fun or something like that. But yeah, I think I would.
I've gotten, I guess not matching, related tattoos, but like so related that they basically are matching.
Yeah.
I have like a few of them, and I don't really mind. Even if you do, say you and I stop being friends or something, or you break up with your girlfriend, I don't know, you still got a tattoo out of it, and then you can just like come up with something else. Say it doesn't, you don't have to tell everyone you got it with whoever you got it with. I like simultaneous a little bit more, like getting them at the same time. I mean, I think most of the time, if we're gonna go get something either related or matching, like you and I have kind of done before. Not so much like,
we did.
As far as the artwork of what we're doing, but just like, oh, let's go get a tattoo and then we get something kind
of after F1 that one time.
And after the Home Shake concert, we wanted to.
Yeah,
we wanted to.
That's
and
right.
You want to go do it like at the same time. And ideally, just for like time constraints, you know, I don't want you sitting in the chair for an hour and then I have to sit there if we have like one guy that's open. So doing it at the same time is probably ideal. But yeah, definitely lean more towards related tattoos, just because it's basically like matching, but you're still getting something a little bit different. Like your own spin on it, you know?
Yeah. I agree with that. I also completely forgot I got a matching tattoo with my first girlfriend.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Yeah, we both got
I'm thinking of,
anchors on our feet. Yeah, I completely forgot it had to do with her, but just goes to show, yeah, it doesn't matter if you break up with your girlfove or something. Still, I still love my anchor.
Cool. Whatever. Whenever I see it on your foot, I'm always like, it's a good move.
Yeah, it's basic, but it's cool. I like it.
For sure. I just like how they look. I like how I feel with them. I like showing them off. I like people being able to see something that you're so interested in, or art style, or anything that you wanted so bad that you put it on yourself permanently. I started getting more into like really focusing. It didn't do it so much when I was first getting tattoos, but the symmetry, the placement of tattoos. I just think there's a lot you can do besides what you're actually putting on. Not every tattoo has to be about your dead grandma, her favorite phrase from the Bible or whatever that you love so much. Like sometimes it can just be something like, oh, I really like this, and I don't know, I want to show that off.
Yeah, I'd agree. It sounds cliche to say it, but like the whole body, your body is a canvas phrase. I think that is really true. I don't know, this body at least is only going to be on this earth for one lifetime, and I think it's cool to mark it up with all my favorite things, or from artists that I think are really cool, or I don't know, or things that are important to me, or not, maybe just aesthetically they're pleasing, but I really like that aspect of it. I'd say that's why they're important to me. I really like the idea. If I could even just see all of my favorite artists and all the tattoos that they were offering at a certain time in one place, I think that would be huge. Like right now, I follow 100 different Instagram accounts and stuff like that.
You sometimes forget who you're following too.
Yeah.
Like you sometimes, unless you're really invested in that artist, you're kind of relying on the Instagram algorithm to show you them constantly. So I'll go through my following and I'll see some Ukrainian artists and I'm like, oh, I totally forgot about this guy. This is sick. I really like his stuff. So yeah, having it all centralized is probably a little bit better, just so you have like a spread of your favorite artists and then you're able to see it directly in front of you without, I don't know, getting anything like pushed to the back and relying on either your memory, which sometimes is not the best, or
fleeting.
An algorithm.
There's so many people whose art that I would want to get on my body that aren't actually specifically tattoo artists. And if I could have all of that in one place, instead of having to go scan through everything, message the artist, hey, would you be willing to give me this design or allow me to put this on my body? And then have it be done by somebody who maybe isn't affiliated at all with the artist or something like that. I think that's a ton more work than just having, a marketplace where I can go see individually which art I'd like to get on my body from these different people.
Sometimes you don't know what you want, and sometimes you also don't know exactly what kind of art is gonna look best on a tattoo, or you don't even think about it. It seems that just recently the kind of more like Victorian era art styles, or like the Michelangelo, creation of David, stuff like that, people have started being like, oh, that'd be really cool on tattoos. So being able to see, visual artists, contemporary art, all this kind of stuff in the view and the spectrum of, oh, I could get that as a tattoo. I think it just opens up more possibilities that you're not always thinking of, especially if you're not super into getting tattoos on you all the time. You might not be thinking about all these different lanes you can do. And sometimes it's nice to not have to restrict yourself to, oh, I'll do traditional or
whatever they have in the book at the shop or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of limited edition tattoos, mainly because I really like the aspect of scarcity, because when you walk into a tattoo shop and you see their tattoo book and you flip through it, or you see designs on the wall, you don't know if there are 1 million people that have gotten this tattoo, or if there's like 500. I remember on Tumblr, there were so many tattoos that I would like, And I would go through and I'd say, oh, I really want this one. I really want this one. One that's really popular, the trees, the forest that starts at the wrist and goes up. And you walk around downtown Austin and you'll see 20 people in a day.
Now.
Yeah, it's literally a meme now. Of people walking around with this exact tattoo. So the scarcity aspect is really interesting, super unique to Blackdot, I think, because you can know I'm one of X people that has this. There's a cap on it, whatever that number may be, but knowing that you're one of those people, I think gives you some comfort, knowing that you're not going to see 1,000 people walking around with that same exact tattoo.
I think limited edition is always going to appeal to me and to almost anybody. It's the same reason like wearing vintage clothes is super in all the time. Knowing that you're not going to go be out somewhere at a party and someone's going to have the exact same thing as you, or like kind of be like a walking caricature of something by doing something that so many other people are already into. Yeah, the limited edition is going to give you more of a unique feel to it. Yeah, it's just like an easier way to kind of stand out.
You don't want to be a starter pack.
Don't want to be a starter pack.
There are a lot of
Especially
starter
not
pack
with
tattoos.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
There is a laundry list of people that I'd like to get tattoos from that either aren't tattoo artists or are way too far away or something like that for different reasons. I can't access these tattoos. One of the people I really am interested in is Tyler Hobbs. He kind of specializes in the NFT field and everything, but he does this generative art that is really, really beautiful. I had an idea I was actually thinking of getting one of his generative art, I guess, works tattooed on me before I even get to see what it is. So he puts code into a computer and it prints out art. It's a lot more complicated than that, but cool. That's a summary. But yeah, I would love to get one, like have him put in the code but not know what it's going to generate at the end, and it generates it on me for the first time.
I'd be super down.
Yeah, dude, I think that'd be so interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's definitely one of the people that I'd like to get one from.
Just going off of visual, Kentaro Miura, rest in peace, author of Berserk. A lot of people that just do not do strictly tattoos, if I was able to get something commissioned straight from them and then have it scale to form like perfectly as a tattoo, that would be amazing, amazing. And then as far as actual tattoo artists, there's a ton that I follow. And most of the ones I follow are either like South Korean, Ukrainian,
Turkey,
Russia. Yeah, super hard to get to. And even if I went there, they're booked up for months, like at least 6 months in advance. Yeah, that'd be awesome if I was able to.
Yeah, so I really like the idea of working and commissioning art through the Blackdot platform. I think having a medium, kind of similar to how a lot of the apps work right now with whether you're renting a house or calling an Uber or something like that, having a medium to hold the money, to communicate with them through, etc., is really important and kind of difficult to do. A lot of times they don't speak the same language, a lot of times they're on different time zones, and it's a really difficult process depending on who you're trying to reach and what you're trying to do with them. So I think this medium would be really interesting and a safe, secure, and simple way to kind of work with these different people.
I also feel like it's kind of the pinnacle of personalization as far as getting a custom one-of-one design that you are able to commission with the artist. I think that's just a really cool, unique experience. It's even better than getting a piece of art that already exists and then getting the tattoo of it, which to me, getting that from the actual artist is already awesome, but being able to tweak it and work with them, it's pretty exciting. I feel like it's a pretty untapped market. I don't think I know of anybody who's even started getting in the realm of trying to find an artist, commission it, do a similar thing. And it's really not the same as being able to use like the Blackdot device and then being able to get it so exact as it would be with the actual generative art that they're making via computer or whatever. So I think it's really cool. I think it's really exciting for people who are getting tattoos. Again, it's kind of this new medium that I don't think most 99% of people that have tattoos are even thinking about right now, as far as something that they're able to get onto them. And really they're not, because the technology hasn't been here until just now.
I think tradable tattoos are interesting, probably for both of us, because we were both into trading cards as kids, whether it was Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, whatever. And so if those cards had utility as well, if I was able to take one of these Pokemon cards in and get this Pokemon tattooed on me in high fidelity or something like that, I think that'd be insane. So adding utility to something tradable, I think, changes the entire game, especially even in just with NFTs right now. The old, just a picture, you know, kind of the Bored Ape, just the artwork sort of stuff, and they're adding utility to those as well. But all of those are kind of being phased out, and they're being replaced now by NFTs that have real utility. So things that you can either cash in for something in real life, or things that within the blockchain, they'll work for you, or generate these different currencies, things like that. So yeah, I think tradable tattoos are really interesting for those reasons.
I mean, if you and I had tradable tattoos right now and we gifted each other one, that would be so rad. Like I'd already
be swapping,
be so excited about the idea. It gives an actually really cool story to be like, hey, I was a part of this thing. It's a tradable tattoo. I know, let me explain it to you. I think just even having that, like, almost anybody is gonna be exciting enough. On top of what you're talking about, utility, etc.
Yeah. But also, you might have one that I want, and vice versa. So being able to swap those, I think, would be really cool as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And like gifting a Blackdot tattoo is so rad.
Yeah.
So many people want to be able to be a part of something that's either niche or new or hasn't been done before, has not been done by anybody they know. If I got a Blackdot tattoo from you,
yeah, dude,
through the roof.
For your birthday?
Yeah, I'd be so excited.
And then knowing that, I mean, I feel like you'd be excited even just seeing like the tattoo on paper or something like that. But being able to bring that into a facility and get that tattooed on is insane.
Right. Oh yeah, I mean, again, even the art already would be exciting, but knowing that I'm then going to be able to get it as a tattoo, not just like, hey man, let's go to the tattoo shop and
I'll see if the guy down the street can try his best. Yeah,
it's just a lot more personalized and a lot more, not to sound corny, but special.
Yeah, I agree. I think being able to buy multiple that you think you like, and then deciding in a few months, I still like this one, or I want to sell this one. I think the idea that you can make money afterwards off these, if you decide you don't like it, that's so unique. There are very few things that you can buy, decide, hey, 6 months later, I really don't like this one, and then make either more or make your money back on it. I think that's a really interesting concept. I'm already so obsessed with trading NFTs currently that I think this would just kind of add to that fire.
Yeah, it adds in like a whole new dimension. Like you said, the fact that you can make your money back or make more money off of it.
Or get it tattooed on you and it's permanently yours.
You got options,
Yeah, agreed. The Blackdot device is insane because I've never seen anything that's been able to do such high fidelity and high resolution, almost to the point where like it's like a printer doesn't even print in this high fidelity, and now it's on human skin in that high fidelity. So being able to see something, whether it's online or from a digital artist or something like that, and knowing that it's going to end up exactly as it looks in my 4K resolution screen on skin, it is just insane. Because even like when you bring a design into a tattoo artist right now, you don't know if the art's going to look even close to what you gave him. Or if it's just gonna like slightly mimic it. It's very rarely that it is exactly what you wanted. In fact, I would say out of all of my tattoos, none of them have been exactly what I wanted. That doesn't mean I don't like them or enjoy them, but none of them have been, if I brought in an image, that image is on me when I leave in high fidelity. So the ability to do that, and I just think is revolutionary, and one of the most game-changing features about Blackdot.
Like you said, the predictability is huge. There's issues with bringing in different types of art to artists who may not be familiar with it. A lot of tattoo artists do more traditional stuff. They have like 3 basic styles they can kind of work between, and you try to bring them something really cool that you want to do, it may not turn out exactly like you want. And there's you know, there's merit to like human error if that's what you're going for. If you want like kind of cool patchwork tattoos, I obviously have some, but as far as like knowing what you're getting and having this just laser focused device with Blackdot being able to put exactly what it is on you and having the comfort of that, yeah, I think it's pretty good.
And like you said, we have some of those patchwork tattoos, but that's only because this technology hasn't been available until now. So I feel like even subconsciously, since I've learned about Blackdot, I've been like holding off on different tattoos specifically because I'm like, I'm saving this for the 4K, the 5K, the high resolution, the high fidelity tattoos that I know I'm able to get now.
I think being able to see the difference from a Blackdot tattoo next to all the other tattoos you have is going to be almost jarring. Like, with how crystal clear it is, and it's just going to stand out, and people are going to be like, wow, who did that? That's insane.
It's like the 1998 video games versus like what people are playing today.
I have quite a bit of experience with the pain of tattooing. In most shops, there are places that you'll do that hurt a little bit more. So the inside of your bicep or your ribs or thighs hurt more than your forearms, or the outside of your arm and your tricep and whatnot. I've had some incredibly painful tattoos, and I've had some that feel basically like nothing, that you could fall asleep during.
Whereas with the Blackdot device, I can honestly say I could take a nap through those. If they were to even take that long, which they don't, I would be able to take a nap through that. And I actually have nearly fallen asleep using it before with Joel working on me. But yeah, so I don't even think the pain is comparable. In fact, I would say the pain with the Blackdot device is something that my mom, who has a super low pain tolerance, everything hurts her, bruises like a peach, to quote her. I think my mom would even be interested in getting tattoos, knowing that the pain is so low. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't think it ever goes above a 2. Whereas I would place a machine or a traditional tattoo at probably a 7 or an 8, like some of the worst pains.
The Blackdot machine is without a doubt the lowest on any of the pain thresholds stick and pokes machines. Anywhere I've had a machine, legs, arms, chest, sternum, etc. It's honestly really not even close. I would say it can absolutely detract from the experience if you're having like a really bad time with, say for me, stick and pokes, or for you, a machine somewhere. One, it's gonna make you wanna stay there less. You're not gonna wanna dedicate as much space and time to getting a bigger tattoo. And so you may even end up rushing the artist a little bit. So not having to worry about the pain experience with a Blackdot machine is always nice. It's not even something I think about when I come in, like, oh, where am I getting this put? Maybe this is gonna hurt a little bit more. It's just not even close to any of the machines or stick and pokes I've had so far, so.
Yeah, it's a negligible amount, to say the least. Like,
absolutely.
You don't, coming into Blackdot, pain is not even one of the thoughts in my head, whereas prepping for a traditional tattoo or something like that, pain is like the sole thing that I'm thinking about going in. I'm mentally prepping for days just to get into the shop going, okay, like,
make sure you
okay.
even out before. So
Exactly. So many people pass out just from sitting through pain for an hour or even less time.
Some people won't even get tattoos because they're worried about the pain.
Right.
I remember asking my dad, I was like, Dad, why do you not have any tattoos? He was like, oh, it hurts. I was like, wow, okay. Yeah, it'll stop people from going in and getting them at all. So by being able to like remove that factor of at least a fear element and like a truly painful element, depending on where you're getting a tattoo. I think it just opens up the door for more people to be able to get them, which is cool.
It removes that barrier to entry. And just to add on to that, my tattoo artist has a tattoo on his stomach that's just the outline. And I asked him, I said, well, why is it just the outline? Like, you're a tattoo artist, do you not have tattoo artist friends? He said, I'll never get it done. He said it was the worst pain. He was like, I did the outline, that's all I could sit through. This was years ago too, and it's still not done. But he said, yeah, I'll never get my stomach finished. The pain was too much.
Yeah, being able to remove that, it just removes such a scary element of tattooing for so many people, and kind of is probably gonna end up decreasing the stigma of tattoos with opening the door
Absolutely.
for more people being able to get them, like so many people that just don't want to deal with the pain. So
I can see a domino effect into more jobs and stuff like that, even allowing tattoos, because now the C-level executives that were maybe scared of this before or something, I think destigmatizing it, like you said, is a huge piece of it, and a huge piece in even making tattoos a larger thing in the world too. So,
for sure.
As far as a studio creating an experience that I've really enjoyed, I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I'm not just trying to shit on traditional studios, but even with the tattoo artists that I enjoyed, that space is never, it's not my, I don't wanna just say vibe, but it's really just not my scene. The Blackdot experience, however, is a completely different experience. It feels clean. It feels, I don't wanna compare brands, but it almost feels like the Apple of tattooing, where everything is sleek. Everything, you just know that they're doing everything right. You're not questioning if they mopped the floors before you came in there, or within the last month, or if they've cleaned off the countertops, or if their needles are sterile. There's no question in your head about these guys' focus. And I think it speaks a lot to the team as well. And everybody that works there kind of has this same, I'll say it again, vibe, where everything just, it feels like it works. And it's definitely more of my scene. I feel a lot more at home, a lot more comfortable, a lot more loose in the Blackdot environment than I do in a traditional tattoo shop.
I've definitely had okay or better experiences in traditional tattoo shops, sometimes even chain ones. I've gotten a few small tattoos, gone in late at night. The problem is that you don't really know what you're going to get unless you're working with an artist that you've worked with before and that they were there at that time. Sometimes you just go to a shop that you know because everyone seems kind of cool. But again, unless you're setting something up in advance, you're not really sure. So it's a roll of the dice. I've had good experiences, but it's not, you never really know if that's what you're going to get unless you know for sure who you're going to be working with when you walk in that shop. Agreed with you, the Blackdot experience is not really even close to going into a traditional tattoo shop. On one hand, when you're going into a traditional studio, a lot of the times, like, you're doing something that is kind of this personal, permanent, transformative thing, and you're doing it in front of a bunch of people you don't know. Sometimes if it's really booked up and you have to sit there and wait an hour and a half and whatnot. With Blackdot, it just feels way more personalized, and what you're getting is just not even close to like a traditional studio. Again, talking about the fact that you don't have to be concerned with reliability of the artist and what they're going to put on you. Just knowing exactly what you're going to get to the millimeter is, it's just way more of a comforting thing, that it doesn't feel like you're rolling the dice when you walk into Blackdot.
Yeah, to add on to what you said, I appreciate that with Blackdot there aren't 100 people looking at me. There's not like a bunch of drunk college students coming in and waiting for me to get mine done. You know, it almost feels like they're rushing the artist as well. And that's not everywhere, but I have had experiences like that where it's just a little too crowded for my taste. And so I like how personalized Blackdot feels, and it feels like this experience was curated for me rather than walking into a shop and hoping that I get a good experience. Blackdot is an obvious choice for a number of reasons. I think the precision is a huge element of it. The convenience is a massive element of it. Being able to have high fidelity art from whether they're a tattoo artist or not, but tattoo artists and artists alike all around the world. I think that is probably the most game-changing or monumental element that makes Blackdot so different than the rest. I think out of the last maybe 100 years, there hasn't been very much, if any, that I know of innovation within tattooing since maybe like even Sailor Jerry era, like when that first started. We haven't really seen anybody come into this space and innovate. And so it's been kind of the same, whether it's Japanese art, whether it's traditional art, you know, it's all kind of this within this same box.
I mean, working with the Blackdot team, like we said, not really even close or comparable to going into a traditional studio. And again, I know I keep going back to it, but having the unique experience, the story to tell about where you got it, what it was like, being one of those early adopters into it or someone that comes later, it's still going to be really specialized and personalized to something that not a lot of people have. and just being able to get an awesome precision device tattoo on top of a really cool story is kind of the best. I mean, each tattoo has some minor story. You can tell who got it for you. Was it stick and poke? Was it machine? Where'd you go to? Et cetera, et cetera. Do you like it still?
Right.
But being able to have so much info and like so much of this really cool, unique story with each Blackdot tattoo on top of already just insane tattoos. It's comparing Blackdot to like traditional studios. It's a little bit hard because so many of the elements, so many of the variables are just either being thrown out or changed like completely. So
I think there's also a shift happening right now. If you look at like, and I know celebrities aren't always the best gauge of reality, but if you look at like all the tattoos the celebrities are getting from like Dr. K, Johnny Woo, like all the Bang Bang art, that is art that is small usually, but super, super precise.
Yep.
And something that probably, I mean, I don't know the numbers, but I'd say less than 50 people on the planet can even produce. So being able to have that art in your city, within like reach and stuff, and not having to wait for years and years to get on these wait lists for these different people. I think convenience, it'd be insane if we didn't mention the convenience of getting these things that currently does not exist in society unless you want less than the best art. And right now I've been, like I said, subconsciously kind of saving myself so I can have the art that I feel like I deserve, and want to show off on my body. And I think having only a handful of people in the world that can produce that, this changes that. This comes in and really, just because it helps the artist, but it really changes the entire game. And I think being able to get that is why Blackdot, for me, is awesome.
I mean, just visually what you're saying about how tattoos are kind of changing, I have noticed a lot of people starting to move towards smaller, more unique, precise tattoos.
Detailed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. On top of that, just the kind of era that we're in with everybody wanting something that is their own, or being the first to do something, or having a one-of-one, or having something that they can say is from this artist, their favorite artist that they've been following around and posting on their Instagram since 2013 or whatever. Yeah. I mean, it's catering so much to specific customer needs that you're just getting something, again, super, super personal, a really cool story behind it. I just feel like as far as what people want right now, and then Blackdot emerging, it's kind of coming at this like really good intersection of what a lot of people are asking for. So.
Right, yeah, I think it's perfect timing in that sense. It's happening right where I think the shift would happen. I think 50 years ago, or maybe even 20 years ago, early 2000s, not only would this not have been possible because the technology just wasn't there to support it.
Right.
But
a ton of levels.
Yeah, and I just think culturally too, we were at a different point, whereas now it feels like culturally we're ready for this. We're ready for the high resolution, high fidelity. Everything's moving to more and more details, smaller and smaller and smaller. And I think Blackdot just fits perfectly in line with that.
More self-expression, and Blackdot being able to offer that too, as opposed to what you're saying about 20, 30, 40 years ago, people getting tattoos. I really don't think they were thinking about it as much as we are. And they're definitely not thinking about, oh, I want a one-of-one tattoo that I'm not going to see posted everywhere on Instagram or story packs or whatever, because less people were like getting tattoos in general. They were less accessible. Not as many people want them. You don't have social media or Instagram to like show that y'all all have the same tattoo.
Right. Yeah, and unless you saw that tattoo in the wild, which was probably rare, you were never going to see that. And so now if somebody has the same thing as you, you know about it. So the scarcity aspect, or the one-of-ones, or the limited editions now, I think really play into that. The upside potential of Blackdot is to be a part of something that I think could change the entire world in terms of tattooing and even art, really. But I think it's a lot bigger than where it started at. I mean, just in the last few years, being able to see where Joel has come with this company and what he's created is one of the most interesting things I've ever watched. I've never watched a company unfold this way before.
Potential upside to Blackdot being able to centralize so much of what people are going to get tattoos for. Again, like we talked about, changing stigma, changing accessibility due to low pain, due to knowing exactly what they're going to get just being able to remove so many of the fear and uncertainty elements about going in and getting tattoos. I think as far as for artists go and being able to have that kind of database collection of all these things that people want, and then as other shops open up different places, the accessibility to getting exactly what you want is opened up.
Where you are.
Right. And then again, as far as just people being able to feel more comfortable with going in and getting tattoos, and a pretty new environment, but again, one that also helps like support upcoming artists that are doing a bunch of cool stuff, not just tattoo artists, but people in general.
Yeah, I feel like it really turns the industry like completely on its head almost. Like I don't want to say that there won't be traditional tattoo shops in the future, because I'm sure there will always be kind of that niche market for them. But I really see this as the future of tattooing. And the way that the world is heading, I think a lot of companies will kind of adopt this kind of more centralized focus and this more precision, kind of clean, like just all of the elements that Blackdot combines together to be Blackdot. I see that really creating a shift in the world and how we view art, how we view tattoos, and how we view companies in general.
And you and I have seen Blackdot, we've been seeing it grow for years and all the science and the tech behind it. And it's not something that's going to be literally easy or possible to replicate for anything else. So again, there is not really a doubt that Blackdot is going to be disruptive in what it does for tattooing and the tattoo industry. That's a certainty at this point.
Yeah.
But just seeing what it does, I mean, it just, you know, it's kind of limitless. Once Blackdot starts getting stores in all these different places, I just think Blackdot becoming a household name, and not a household name in ways that even big tattoo artists are at this moment.
Right.
Because again, changing the accessibility to like people getting tattoos, people not thinking of tattoos as these extremely painful, strenuous things that you have to go deal with some guy who's super awkward or uncomfortable or doesn't want to talk to you for like 2 hours while you're getting something done. Yeah, I think just being able to open that up to that market of people that may not even be there for tattoos right now. Obviously, people that already have tattoos like us are going to be down for it, but it's opening up to the marketplace of people that don't even have tattoos yet, but would most likely get them with being able to go get the Blackdot experience, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I think Blackdot is the tattoo company.
Yeah, I agree. Unironically, yeah.